Okay, so wigs. So it's Sunday on this holy day of our Lord.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I've been doing wigs for about 5 years now. And I started doing wigs in 2018. Yeah, it's 5 years. I started doing commissions, and I stopped doing commissions last year because I started going to grad school and I don't no longer have time to do commissions. But while I was doing commissions, I have done over about 20, probably 20 to 30 for different cosplays, including some people international. Like I have sent wigs to the UK that I've done. I've sent wigs to Japan, Australia. I've had people ask me more than I've sent. But yeah, I've had people like ask me from like South America, like South Africa, pretty much all over, but mostly like I've sent wigs throughout the United States. A lot of them are probably not really styled anymore by the person because it's been so long. I'll be sending you some out soon because just I have to catch up on some things. Currently working on a Jinx wig, a Yu-Gi-Oh wig, and I'm about to start working on a Mickey wig. So yeah.
Me? Okay.
Yeah, you.
Is my mic on?
Yeah.
Barely. I've been doing wigs for I've been doing them since 2020, and I started doing commissions in 2021. I'm not as cool as Lynn is. Most of mine have been over America. I've done maybe 10 commissions that have been shipped out, and then the other ones that I've done are for friends, so I've been able to deliver them locally. So maybe I've done about 14 or 15 commissions. Not as cool as you are.
Yeah, that's not true. You're cool.
Okay, thank you.
You're both cool.
Aww.
Dang it.
I guess one of my favorite commissions that I ever did, oh gosh, I have to think about that. You go first. I have to think about that.
I don't even remember the name of the series that my favorite commission was from.
Yeah. I did like JoJo's, when I first started, I was doing JoJo's Bizarre Adventure wigs. And that's over the top stuff.
Really, yeah.
I did this, I don't know how to say his name, but my friend calls him Old Man. And I did his wig, and I had to put little styrofoam balls inside and make it with foam. And yeah, it was crazy. Do you have any questions about anything certain that you would like to know?
How do I whisper to wigs?
How to whisper?
Yeah, do you actually whisper to the wig and
So
speak its love song to it?
you gotta get
Never
really
seen Steve Irwin.
you gotta get really close to the mic. Work it, serve it. Can't say the rest because it's kind of inappropriate. But yeah. And then if you go, my cats come running. I have 2 cats at home. One's name is Top and the other's is Louise. Yeah, Louise is bad. You'll probably, if you follow me on Instagram, you can see her on my story very often. Yeah. So, yeah.
I have something to say.
Yeah, go ahead.
I love y'all's wigs.
Thank you.
How did you do it?
So what I did was I took a crimper. I don't know if y'all know what a crimper is.
Yeah.
I took that back in the
and
day, yeah. And I crimped all of it and then teased it, and then brushed it out, and pretty much it leaves it really poofy, makes it easier to spike. So that's how I got it. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Thank you.
I love that.
Yeah. How'd you do yours?
So they make a wig for this character, but it's not the right color that hers is in the show. So it was literally a full length 13 or 14 inch long wig, and like I cut the back of it off and left these 2 pieces in the front, and I crimped it, teased it, then I brushed it out and straightened over that to get the crimp marks out. Which a lot of people don't understand, that you can't let it cool that long after you crimp it and brush it out, because the longer you let it cool, you're not going to be able to get the crimp marks out.
Yeah.
Without a lot of hard work.
And also, if you leave it to cool, like it's not gonna get as poofy.
Yeah, exactly. And so I did that, and then for the little curls and stuff, I went in layers and started like 1 layer, 2 layer, and then like you cut them like feathering. That way, when you take the straightener and just like curl it and hold it for a second, you let it go and it leaves that little point. But like it leaves like a loose little curl, so if you want like kind of spiky like that, because sometimes I like to do the spikes like this because it looks a little bit cleaner if you're on a time crunch.
Yeah.
And so like I just sprayed it with some Got City glue and a hairdryer, which is like the godsend of the cosplay wig community. And then like pinched it, and then after that it was a little spike.
Yeah. I wore this wig to Holiday Matsuri in Orlando, and I didn't wash it. So don't do that.
Wash your wigs, wash your wigs.
I didn't wash it, and I put it back on. I brushed it out. I brushed all the glue out. And it was still good. It was still poofy and stuff. So I was like, I'm just gonna restyle it.
I pulled out my Mirko wig that I did at CyberCon last night to wear to the BotCon at night. I pulled it out and I was like, it was 100 degrees that day when I did my photo shoot with Tyson. I was like, this wig is horrendous. It was tangled and I was like, it smells like sweat. So I sprayed it with perfume and I was like, I'm washing this as soon as I get home. Why did I do this? I always feel like, wash your wigs. And I was like, maybe not listening to my own advice.
Do y'all put it in the washer or dryer, or do y'all?
No.
No.
You ever seen anyone put a pair of Crocs in a dryer and they
No.
shrink up?
Yeah.
That's probably what would happen if you put it. I feel like the wig would be okay in the washing machine, not the dryer.
Depends on the washing machine.
If you put it in like one of those little garment bags, I feel like it'd have a good chance of making it through, maybe.
Possibly. So what I do to wash my wigs is I take fabric softener.
Yeah.
And I put it in like a tub of like lukewarm water.
Yeah. Also, the fabric softener tub is a good thing to do before you start styling your wig if it's too shiny and you want it to look a little more realistic. Baby powder and fabric softener is a good way to get that shine out.
Yep. Yeah.
And some of the shine goes away when you crimp it too.
Yeah, it does. I've noticed that, especially with like epic cosplay wigs.
Yeah.
I like epic cosplay wigs, but them things shiny.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ooh.
And there's some really good wigs on Amazon for decent prices. You just have to look really, really hard and read the reviews. Because this wig, a lot of my wigs come from Amazon, but
Mine
like
too. Yeah.
I spend hours going through the pages and reading the comments.
Mm-hmm. Some of the comments are funny.
They're really funny.
We
It'll
should,
be like totally unrelated to the wig.
we should like do a panel one day on like reading Amazon.
Please, I would love that.
On
It's so
wigs.
good.
And yeah. So yeah.
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 That's so cool. I love how you
Thank
did
you.
that.
Thank
So
you.
cool.
I need to remake the mask because I made it quickly for
Yeah.
Hallmat, and I didn't think about I didn't think I was gonna do this character this weekend, but yeah.
Accidents happen.
Accidents happen. Yeah, child is a big accident.
Wow.
Like always. This man that I'm cosplaying today is an accident.
Really? I think we're both accidents today.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're still both loved.
Huh?
Bad joke.
I didn't even hear it.
I said, I'm sure you're still both loved.
Debatable.
Debatable, yeah. Debatable. Yeah, yeah. So the character I'm cosplaying, he's a criminal. He works for the Fatui Harbingers, and he's very like kind of dumb, but also he's like a golden retriever like type.
Good boy.
The good boy, but he's kind of dumb, and he's like, yeah, I want to fight people.
Who doesn't?
I just want to fight everyone. Hello.
Miss Oolala, everybody.
Oh la la.
Yay!
So I've never tried getting in a car with this on ever.
Was it?
Yeah.
Can you sit down with that?
No.
Okay,
Well, I'm No, I shouldn't. It's dangerous. Oh, and the badge that got lifted, they were like, you need to have something.
Poor Bridget. She's been through a lot.
Someone took my badge, and now I have things. Hello, everybody. I am Miss Oolala Cosplay. I'm late.
Missed my singing earlier.
I missed it. Did you guys start with the stuff?
Yeah, we kind of were
We've just
talking.
been rambling.
Oh, okay. Well, let's stand up. Here's a wig head.
Nice.
I love wig heads.
We came unprepared.
Well, okay. The wig stand, I couldn't carry everything, and Ty has to sit in the car because it was too much to carry. He just said, "Come meet me when you're done." Check out, it's fun. But I did bring goodies to show. Okay, so
Not to say that was one wig.
we have all sorts of different kinds of wigs.
Bridget came to teach the people today.
I did. I feel bad. I'm
the
glad.
people. We did not.
You did not.
We look like
No.
wieners.
Huh?
We look like wieners compared to you.
Wieners.
Wieners.
So, did we go over the kinds of wigs yet?
No.
The different kinds of wigs? I'm taking this off, by the way.
No. We kind of talked about epic cosplay and how shiny they can be sometimes.
Oh, epic cosplay?
Yeah.
This is actually an epic cosplay wig.
Yeah.
So-
Mine was yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess first of all,
We're actually wearing okay, is that Amazon?
Yeah.
Okay, I have Ardo on Amazon and Epic.
an epic. We're like the trifecta where you can get wigs.
Yeah.
So yeah, lots of different places where you can get wigs. I'm just gonna ditch this chair and stand here.
You got
Because
it.
if I sit, the hoop, it's embarrassing. I can't even. Okay, there we go.
You're good.
I'm gonna fix myself.
You got it.
So anyways, there are different styles of wigs that you can buy, different places you can buy them from. I love heat-resistant fibers, synthetic. Some people think human hair is great. I don't think so for cosplay because you
No.
want these outrageous styles.
Unless you're cosplaying a character with like
That
natural
looks very
hair. A real
natural,
person.
right? If you want to, and if you don't
From
mind
like
the humidity,
DC, they look
Yeah.
real.
right? Yeah, and then the
Like a
humidity
live action
will.
character.
Right, or the humidity does tend to mess with those. I like the perma styling of wigs. My favorite wig company is Arda. Sometimes they don't have the colors that you want though. For instance, this kind of, I guess a cool purple. They have a very warm plum purple that I love at Arda. But Epic is another, Epic Cosplay Wigs. There's my other clips. A lot of times you'll need to shop around, but those are definitely my two recommended. Like we definitely use those two websites a lot. Arda, A-R-D-A, just like Lord of the Rings, and Epic Cosplay Wigs. This is an example of a lace front wig. So there's a couple of different things to keep in mind whenever you're trying to find the perfect wig for your cosplay. The hairline is always the first thing I consider. So if your character has bangs, you don't really have to worry about what the hairline looks like because underneath it's going to be covered by the bangs. Like with this one, it's very much just a regular wig. It's just got that little piece of fabric in the front, the bangs fall forward. However, if you have a character where you want it to look like it's your natural, like it's growing out of your head, and there are no bangs to cover it and it's going swooped back, there is something called a lace front. I love lace front wigs. This isn't the best example and it's full of hair glue, I apologize. But there's this nice little netting that you can cut. A lot of times the netting hangs over and you just cut it to the shape if you want it in a widow's peak, like this one has a widow's peak, a slight widow's peak. Actually cut it a little less widowy, but it's got that nice little point. I don't know if y'all want me to pass this around to look at it? I mean, just, yes, it's been on my head, so I don't know how you are about that, but this is what it looks like. If this is just hair glue that's gotten stuck in it, I'll go over what that is later. But this, whenever you have it up against your skin, it's going to look like the hair is growing out of your head. If you can see there, how your skin will show through the netting, and it just sort of looks natural like that, instead of that hard piece of fabric over it. The other type of wig, which there is nothing wrong with that, it's the kind I'm wearing right now. It just has a regular hairline. Oh, also, I love to keep the packaging for wigs. These little nets keep the flyaways smooth so that they don't end up all tangled. It actually really helps, even though it doesn't look like it would. This stuffing helps it from getting creased in the middle where the part is. I love a nice skin top part. This is an Amazon wig, actually. It just happens to be a really nice one.
I like the color of it.
Me too.
Amazon has some really good wigs for good prices. You
I
just
find a
have to
lot
be
of
really
the
careful.
ones on Amazon's aren't really shiny.
This was a fluke. Like, I have no idea how I got this nice wig on Amazon.
You just gotta be really careful about what
Yeah,
you
you gotta make sure you look at the reviews.
Yeah, it had great reviews.
And sometimes the review lies.
And
you get a really
and
good wig.
with those hairnets, when I used to ship out wigs, that's how I would put the
Yeah,
hairnets
you're
over
right.
them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So if I flip it inside out, you can see the difference. This one does not have that beautiful netting. Let me show you too. See, this is the difference between the two. So we've got this lovely netting here on this one that's going to match with your flesh. And then this right here has bangs combed forward, so you don't need it. It can just be a regular wig. These are a little bit cheaper than lace fronts because you don't have all of that nice fragile lace. It's just a piece of fabric for the bangs that covers it all. So that's a regular hairline. So you just determine, does my character have bangs or is my forehead going to show? Let's see, the next thing to go over, other than having a good wig head to style things on, you're going to want something to put it on when you're styling. Styling it on your head is possible, but I don't recommend it.
Good for yourself.
You will be using the flat iron and trying to see in the mirror. You can't see the back
No
of
one wants a
it.
big burn in the middle.
Nobody wants to burn it, and you're going to be crunching it with your possibly crimper, also with the blow dryer. A lot of times people like to sit there and tease it, which is how I love to give volume to wigs. There's multiple different ways to do that. A lot of people love to use crimpers, which I love. If you take a look at Lynn's wig over here, actually both of you use the crimping method, that's right. I have a flat iron, I don't have a crimper, but you can do essentially the same thing by heating it, and I don't have my flat iron or a hair dryer, but I do have a comb. So both of those ways of creating volume, you can either crimp it and brush it out, and oh yeah, so we talked about putting wigs on, didn't we? It just skipped straight to styling. There it is. Yeah, we're gonna go kind of out of order. So I love a comb that has very fine teeth like that for teasing. If you wanted to create, actually this is probably a better example because it's not styled yet. So here I have our wig with bangs. Now what you would want to do to get the maximum effect, you want to heat your wig. You want to heat the fibers when you're styling it. And by the way, this usually goes on a wig stand. I just don't have it with me. But if you put it on a stand, it does make it easier. You just put some pins to hold your, don't need that. You want to put some wigs, some pins to put it in place so that it doesn't wiggle off of the wig head, because trust me, you're going to be using some force when you're styling it. So right now it's kind of a hot mess. But we've got our bangs here, they're very flat. Now whenever you heat these up with a hair dryer or with your flat iron or even with your crimper, I love doing voluminous bangs by back combing. So you just grab sections of it, and you can actually use bobby pins to separate just small pieces. This is also how you can make spikes. So you take your smallest end and you back comb. Now it's gonna look like you're destroying your wig.
Yeah, you're gonna paint
Which
it.
is
It's your first
fine.
time.
It's supposed to look this bad. So the more you do that, so you're gonna start seeing it wanting to stand straight up. And then you just comb it back out. And it's gonna create this kind of textured textured look. And like I said, the crimper kind of does it for you. But if you don't have access to one of those, you can simply just tease it, and it starts to give it some shape. Not a good shape yet.
Also, with doing spikes, a really good tip if you're gonna like get into like doing wigs like full time, or like you want like really crisp like spikes like Lynn has, investing in like a steamer is so good.
I didn't bring it, but yes, I do have a steamer.
Whenever I do spikes, I use a steamer.
It gets rid of all the little flyaways.
And it's nice and crispy, and you hit it with some hairspray and a blow dryer after that, and it's beautiful.
But yeah, even if you're kind of in a bind and you don't have heat, as you can see, it's still starting to do something. It wants to have volume just because of the teasing. I usually like to leave some of the hair on top, not teased, because that gives it a smooth, like it'll be smooth over it. So it'll just kind of fall over the parts that you've teased. And as you can see, it's starting to lift away from the forehead already. Now with heat, it's going to happen a lot faster and a lot better. So you're definitely going to want that hair dryer. If you have one that has different, let's say you can make it blow less hard, but still keep the heat, like heat and, not pressure settings.
You always want it on like the lowest setting.
The lowest blowing speed?
Yeah.
That sounds weird, but
Because
yeah.
like if you have like, a spike or something formed and you hit it with like
you don't want a tornado coming at
setting
your
on the hair, your spike's gonna.
It's just going to push it down
you're gonna
and
cry.
flatten it. Right, but the heat you're going to want to just, and not for a long time, because then it'll cause the hairs to relax again, which is something else that's really handy. Let's say if you have a wig that turned into a big old rat's nest. Heat is going to be what smooths it back out. I've taken a flat iron and completely redone wigs that way, but it can't be super hot or you could damage your wig. But on like 200, I'd say, around 200, you can just take little sections, flatten it, and start brushing it. I like one of these whenever I heat it back up, which some people don't like using these.
I
do.
have one exactly like that.
And to
It works
re-smooth
so
it.
good.
It really does. But yeah, just a little bit of heat on it and just smoothing it out with one of these will take all of that frayed, frizzy hair and make it smooth again. And if it's still not smoothing, turn up the heat a little bit.
That's also what I use, like if I tease my wig or something, I use a brush like that and it gets all the tangles and knots out and it looks so beautiful and fluffy when you get done brushing it out.
Yeah, and even once you've teased the hair, and
also a brush like that, if you're like teasing like whenever I crimp my wigs, I'll take a brush like that and like not brush through it, but like I kind of wiggle the brush and it helps break up the crimp marks, and then you go over it with a straightener and it's like you never crimped it.
right, yeah, I love that. But yeah, whenever you've gotten some kind of body to it and you like what you're doing, this is my favorite hairspray. Some people prefer Got To Be. I like this one because I feel like it sheds, sometimes your wig that has been heavily sprayed will start to have like almost like little white like powder.
You have to use Got To. I love Got To Be glue, but you have to use it very sparingly.
Right.
And like you can't get like directly on it. You have to get like this far.
This is what I say.
You can.
So what I say, that one is good. That's a good spray for beginner wig stylers.
Yeah.
So when I first started styling wigs, I was using Got To Be, but I totally switched out and I started using that one because they told me about that one. Now I use Got To Be because I find it holds a lot better. I mean, the bad thing is it does leave a residue. That's why you got to be careful with it. So usually for beginner wig stylers, I recommend the Awesome Instant Freeze.
And also,
You can get it at Walmart.
yeah.
It's like a mega horn, like a
It's
horn.
don't get the one that says wax spray because Justice got that
No.
one time, and she was like, "Why won't my wig dry? Why won't it be
right.
spiky?" And I'm
It
like,
has to be freezing
"Girl,
spray.
that says wax. We're not fixing this
No.
wig. We gotta get a whole new one."
So as you can see, it's already kind of taking shape. I like to use my hand to kind of sculpt it. I pretend it's like clay. Some people don't do that. They do it with comb. Okay,
The tips
yeah.
of your fingers are your best tool.
The
like,
warmth
shape
of your hand, right? The warmth of your hand too. I feel like it helps to kind of, your hands aren't hot, but they're warm, so it helps kind of dry
smooth
it
out.
as you're smoothing it. But as you can see, just that little bit without even using a hair dryer or a crimper. If this is all you have, you can still do some styles like anime bangs and things like that. for more extreme styles like that, like spikes, you're definitely going to want some sort of hot tool, whether it be hair dryers work. Flat irons work a little better than a hair dryer, but the crimper is going to give you the most body in the shortest amount of time. I need to get a crimper. I used to have one, but it broke. Let's see, what else do I have in my goodies? Oh, putting wigs on. So a lot of cosplayers put bobby pins, and that's fine, and it holds their wigs in place. Mine don't like to do that, because a lot of times they're too heavy, and they start to slide back, and that is the worst thing. So I started using this a few years back. It is called Got to Be, oh, and it's the lid broke off of it, so ignore the tape. You can find this at any drugstore or Walmart. Got to Be Glued Spiking Glue. Now, it's not literally glue, so don't worry. You're not going to end up with, like, Gorilla Glue hair. It's not like that. It's water soluble. Yeah, it's not going to be Gorilla Glue hair.
What you said.
I think of the lady that had, you remember when she sprayed her hair with Gorilla Glue?
And she's like smoothing over. She's like, it's not moving, and she's knocking her hair. And I'm like,
Wait, somebody put Gorilla Glue in a wig?
Oh, yeah,
No,
in her
actual hair.
In her hair?
Yep.
Yeah, it
And
went viral.
She thought it was like hair
Yeah,
spray.
she
She
sprayed
sprayed her
national
and it was like a
news.
shell.
Dude,
And she's like knocking on her hair.
is there like a
And she
video?
She put it on
Yeah,
her.
it was
She
Send me
sued
it.
Got to Be. She sued Gorilla Glue.
She sued like the company.
Even though she's
But
the
it
one that
says
put her.
not intended for use on
She can't
skin
read.
or hair.
She can't read.
Well, anyway, this may say glue, but it's actually it's sort of like
It's
hair
just a
gel.
gel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's hair glue. This is excellent for the tips. Like if I wanted this a little more pronounced, I could just take some on my fingers and help spike it. But what I love doing with this is I smear it across the top of my forehead and right where like the sideburn hair is, and I smush down here, like I just press it until it sticks. So that way, now if you sweat a lot, it is water soluble, so
And
it will
adding a
start
blow
to
dryer
absorb.
too, it helps.
Blow dryer, right, it helps set it too.
And also, if you don't have that, like just a plain old Elmer's glue stick will do the same thing.
Oh yeah.
Because I've used the Elmer's glue stick before. Because with like
Okay.
I glued my lace fronts down with that stuff.
It is
before.
similar to
So
Elmer's
like if
glue.
you can't
It's just
find like
thicker.
spirit gum,
Yeah.
you can use that.
Yeah. Now spirit gum, I don't recommend
Don't put
sticking
that
your
in
wig
your hair.
down. No, because it ruined a couple of my wigs.
I used it only for lace fronts before.
Mine started to.
That's what
come
mine started
apart.
doing. So I don't really use spirit gum anymore. I like to use that stuff.
This stuff is great. And the reason I think, well, okay, a glue stick would work well too. Elmer's glue is a little thinner than this, but as you can see, this is very thick. Like it's very toothpaste-like. So you just kind of smear that down and press it down. Your wig is not going anywhere unless you are just drenched in sweat. Then
Just don't use it as
will-
toothpaste.
Huh?
Just don't use it as toothpaste.
No, don't use it as toothpaste. We don't want that either. That would be terrible. Also, when putting on wigs, oh, this one's seen better days, but I recommend a stocking cap. Some people like the ones that are fishnet.
I use both.
Both? Okay.
I have like, you probably can't tell right now because it's all squished down, but I have like super curly hair that have to fit under these wigs.
Mm-hmm.
So I do a fishnet wig and then a stocking cap on top and bobby pins.
Right.
So
My
for
first
me, it really
convention-
depends because I have trouble
Yeah.
putting bobby pins in those. So like usually when I wear one, I would usually wear like the fishnet ones. Like today I'm wearing the fishnet ones because I had to add bobby pins into this. Because a lot of the wigs are too big for my head. They're smaller head.
My first convention, I was really stupid and I wore 7 wig caps all on top of each other because I had really big hair and I was like, my wig's not going to come off in little Dallas Fan Expo. I learned my lesson though.
Your head must have been hurting after
It
that.
was because I was Jotaro from Jojo's, so I had a wig and that hat on top and it hurt
Nice.
so bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, either way you go, these are great for me because I use some bobby pins and I will stab through these a bit. That's why the holes are there. But I do use a lot of that hair glue so that I don't have to worry about bobby pins.
And that's
So-
also why I like wigs from Amazon because they give you free wig caps.
I do
And sometimes
too,
they'll
yeah.
give you free elf ears. That's very
I
nice.
love that. I do. Let's see, what else have we, I can just put all this.
Just throw it over there.
I've talked about these things. This headband is not part of the panel. It's just in there. Let's see, what is next? Oh yeah, securing your hair under the wig cap. That's another question I've gotten before. how, if you have long hair, my favorite thing to do is either braid it in twin braids and like wrap it around the back of your head and pin it, or use these little, the things I was like, I don't need these. Yeah, those little,
Yeah, there we go.
I love these, and you can get them at Walmart. But just these little bendy clips, they've been around since at least, I don't know, the 80s. But they're great for just if you have those two pieces of your braid, if you've got long hair and you're wrapping them around the back of your head, just securing them with this and some more bobby pins, put your wig cap over it. It's gonna be all secure in there. I even like to hit it with a little bit of hairspray too sometimes, just to make sure it's
We talk about wig headaches and how to remove them.
wig headaches.
Oh, let the people know, because I think we both had one yesterday.
Oh my God, I don't know how to prevent them.
I wore my studio wig yesterday until like 11.
Do you get phantom wig? I get phantom wig. Phantom wig where you've taken your wig off. It's been like 2 hours since you took it off, and you feel like it's still
feels
there.
like after
I
I
get
get
that
out of
sometimes,
cosplay
yeah.
after a con, it feels like I've been at the lake all day long. Like I feel sunburned.
Mhm.
I just sit there like this, and I'm like,
Yes.
ow.
Mm.
But like sometimes like most wigs will have like the little straps that like you clip together to help keep it in place, and how that's what squeezes it so tight to your head. So sometimes like if my wig's hurting, I like unclap them real quick, and then I'll like rest, and I'm like, all right, feel better, and then you clasp it back, and then like 30 minutes later, you're like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, these little guys right here, you
I
can
like
always
to
just
use my
adjust
hat.
them, put them on
There's
a
video
booster
proof.
setting.
There is video proof.
Justice calls her wig her hat, and like she'll get to the point where she's so miserable. She goes, I want to take my hat off.
My hat.
Please let me take my hat off.
My hat's killing me, y'all. Let's see, what else? Some little, I know I brought it. Oh, when cutting wigs, I don't like to use just any old scissors.
No.
Definitely, and you can get these at Walmart, Sally's, wherever they're hair cutting scissors specifically. I find that they work the best. They're sharp enough for hair, your own hair and wigs.
See, I'm a little boomer and I'm stupid, so I don't use hair cutting scissors. Have you seen like the cuticle scissors? Like you push and you like cut your cuticles with them.
Oh,
Like you brush your eyebrows up and you can use those scissors. Those are really good scissors to use for like little points and stuff.
Oh, okay, cool.
They're super sharp,
didn't know
and
that.
they're like the blades aren't like regular scissors blades. They're like kind of curved, and so they're like really good for like feather cutting. And that's I don't even use regular scissors on my wigs at
I have
all.
to try that.
I just use the
Nice.
eyebrow scissors, and they're like so cheap too. I got them for like $1 at Hobby Lobby.
That is a great idea. I love that. Oh yeah, something else I brought with me. This, if you don't have any got to be, or you don't feel like smearing gross stuff on your head and you're just like, no, that's not for me. They make wig tape. It's the same thing as fashion tape, really, except fashion tape's a little wider. But you can just put that and press your wig down, and that works for some people. I find for me it doesn't, because my makeup makes it not stick to my face. But if you put your wig on first, I'm sure it's fine. But that's an alternative for some
Also,
people.
if you have like a super heavy wig, like I know a lot of people, like a super heavy wig for me would be like Monica from Doki Doki Literature Club.
Mine's Persian.
Her ponytail is so heavy, and like Miku, the pigtails are so heavy. Like any wig where like you're gonna only have like one ponytail, so heavy.
Yo, I'm scared of Monaco. I played that
I'm
game.
sorry. I'm sorry. She's my favorite. Sorry.
awesome.
I like
But
that too.
anyway, they have these things called like wig headbands,
Mhm.
and like you put it on and it like stays right here, and it keeps your wig from like
Grippy ones.
sliding back and like killing you because it's so heavy.
I like to wear wig roots.
Yeah, they're essentially I think the same.
Yeah.
They do the same thing.
Oh, yeah, how
It just makes it a little more comfortable.
I'm just curious how much time we have. I have
10:46.
We have 4 more minutes.
Oh, okay.
Look at that math teacher go.
I will move on to foam and wire and magnets. Okay, I think I can squeeze that in 4 minutes, right?
Yeah.
All right, so one of my favorite things to do is crazy wigs that are hellacious to put together and wear.
That's mine too.
Yeah,
Yes.
me too.
So, a lot of times you'll find, like with Blair here, I get a lot of questions about this wig. This is actually, well, okay, let me take the hat off. Oh, if you're wondering how it's staying on, it's magic. I have actually the magnets are slightly exposed in this. I'll pass this down. This wig looks really silly without the hat, so don't laugh at me.
You look cute though.
Thank you. So these they're called rare earth magnets. They have a scientific name, and I can't pronounce it.
That sounds like a
Neotamon.
Sounds like a
Sounds
Digimon.
Pokemon. Anyway, it starts with an N. It looks like Neotamon with a Y in it. But if you look up rare earth magnets on Amazon, they're pretty big. They're about that big. I actually have a headband, which I wish I would have sewn them into this wig. I have 2 different ways I've done it. Sewing them into the wig in little pockets is best because once you have them in something like a headband, I have a fabric headband with them attached, there's a chance it'll shift around or not be straight and your hat won't be straight. With my power wig, which I can't find the horns that I made, but I used those rare earth magnets for this because I didn't want a headband to show because there's no hat or anything to cover it on this. So what I did, and I'll show it to the camera, I made little pouches. So I made a little, I literally took some wide ribbon and just sewed like a baby pillowcase and tucked the magnet in, sewed it shut, and then sewed it to the inside of the wig in exactly the spots I needed to put Power's horns. There is a matching magnet on the bottom of Power's horns so that whenever it's like this, they just go boop, boop, and they stay on. Now if you hit your head on something, they'll go and then snap right back up. It's the craziest thing. If they do fall off, you just pop them back on. But yeah, if you guys wanted to look closely at it or whatever. But yeah, they're right in there. So, and it doesn't have to be pretty either on the inside. Nobody's gonna see it. So that is how I like to attach things like horns. This thing right here, oh God, it's just a headband. Oh, I see, it's probably caught in the hair. You got it. Oh. Okay. There they are. Just some spirals I made. So whenever you want some weird looking shapes, this is actually coat hanger wire that I covered in craft foam. I used some contact cement and just sandwiched. I took like strips of craft foam and just went along the wire that I had already pre-shaped until I got the shape I wanted. I trimmed it. Then I glued extra hair that I cut off of this wig and just went around it and used, I used tacky glue, which is like a fabric glue. And at the end of it, I just started hairspraying it to kind of keep those flyaways in check, which it's not the most beautiful thing. It was my first attempt at this. And then I just took some wire and electrical tape and attached it to a headband. So that is how, you can touch it if you want. It doesn't light. It looks like it would.
Much.
And I don't have my fangs in. I just thought about that.
Oh no.
My fangs are in my bag.
I was gonna wear fangs from Medusa and I totally forgot.
Oh well.
And
Anyway, so this was my solution for, I've seen people braid them and just twirl it around the wire. I didn't like the way it looks because it looks lumpy, so I wanted to make something very solid and something easy to take on and, or put on and take off, which it's actually not super easy, but I tried. Anyway, so yeah, that just kind of sits there. Push them forward so that the hat, and yeah, the hat has the magnets, which I can feel in the wig. I would take this off, but it is glued to my head. But I just kind of feel for where the magnets are sitting and try not to put the headband over it. That way. Now, because there's so many layers in between this, if I were to swing my head forward, it would fall off. But for the most part, I can get it to sit straight. I say that, and it's like, no, not right now. There's one. Yeah, because the headband does get in the way. But I think I covered everything that I brought. Yay!
we did it.
We did it. Sorry, Bran. Sorry I was late.
Sorry, I'm just like out.
Sorry, it's okay. I'm not the only person on this panel. It'll be fine, right? I'll just get there and they'll.
We got here, we were like,
Oh no.
what do we do?
First mistake relying on me. Ha, just kidding. But anyway, as you can see, it's not like totally toppling off of my head. I I just can't get to. I can't like go to a metal show and like rock out or anything. It'll just fly off. Wouldn't recommend that.
You need stronger magnets.
When I'm in Missouri wig and I was like side-eyeing everybody because I can't see through her braids and I was like, I'm in a mosh pit.
Right, yeah, like not going to a Cannibal Corpse show in this. It's not happening. But yeah, that's pretty much it. We covered going of making volume, creating weird styles, and attaching. Wish I had my horns with me, but attaching prosthetics to your wigs and gluing them in place and putting them on. Do we have any questions?
No questions.
We're so thorough.
Wow.
We did it.
Amazing.
It's like we're almost professionals.
We're almost profesh. We're like semi-profesh. Cool. I'm gonna start.
Sorry, I'm very
Huh?
I don't act like a professional.
I don't
That's my
know.
Instagram.
I am so not profesh.
It's always loud as we did.
Did you see the Grimace post?
No.
So good.
I sent Justice to get me a Grimace shade yesterday.
Was it? They were. They.
She gets to McDonald's and the lady was like, "Wait, out of the Grimace meal. How are you out of the Grimace meal? It is French fries and chicken nuggets and a Grimace shake." And Tyson was like, "Good. I'm glad they're out of the Grimace meal. I hate Grimace."
I think the last day was Friday though.
It's still his birthday. It's his birthday. Oh wait, no, last month was his birthday, right?
Yeah.
So maybe they're just like, oh, his birthday's over, so we don't care
I
about
think
him.
Friday
got
was
a
the
purple
last day.
We have purple ice cream.
No,
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 it's
no,
nice
purple. No, leave.
Maybe they were
Oh,
out
nice
of purple,
cream.
just in general. Did I not have stuffing? Oh yeah, I did. That's for that wig. This is for this wig.
All right. There's another panel coming up. I think Kyra is talking about shonen anime. So
Love a good shonen.
if you like shonen, stay tuned for that. Yeah. And then we have a panel at 12 on main stage. It's with all the cosplayer guests.
Are they gonna make an announcement about that?
Yeah. I'm gonna make
We
it.
have another panel. Oh, I didn't.
You didn't know all of this at 12.
I totally did. I didn't even read the rest. I was just like, oh, wig panel 10.
Bridget shows up. She's like, "No, no, no."
Just tell me where to go. Just leave me
But it's
like
okay,
a
'cause
horse
she's
to
cute. Where
water.
the cosplay contest was yesterday.
Huh?
Where the cosplay contest was yesterday.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's where the cosplayer panel. Okay, cool. Oh, good to know. Good to know. I
Every
guess we
day.
should go to that.
Every day for Bridget is a new day.
It is. I'm just like, do you want
Like
me
she's
to do
opening
something?
her eyes for the first time.
Do you want me to do something? Leave me there. Tell me where to go.
Squirrel.
Squirrel.
Glitter.
Well, you see, there might be other cosplayers here like Bridget, so I'm going to send them all a message.
Oh, yes. I have a feeling that I'm not the only one.
All a lovely message.
Where are we at?
Yeah, where are we again? What is today?
We're at Bacon.
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 I love bacon. Mm. They didn't have no bacon this morning.
Sad. There's a sad day when there's
The
no
breakfast, there was no bacon. There was bacon yesterday.
Hello. They're going to talk about shonen anime next, so we're just wrapping up.
My little swoopy deal.
You did such a
My little
good
swoopy
job.
deal. See how it's just still